Solera of Astora as he looked up at the sun and admired it when we met him over by the watchtower. And remember, Solera of Astora is a symbol of Gwyn's children. So we see the cycle continuing on past Gwyn. And here we have the twin humanities that these hollows were guarding. So we saw today the single humanities representing a person's physical connection to this realm, this plane of Lordran. So what is the twin humanities? Well, this one is slightly more grisly, so you don't need to think about it too much. But at what point does a human have two beings within them? That is when a mother is with child. So whenever you find the twin humanities, you are looking at the symbol or the remains of a mother with child. So there you go. It's a little bit grisly. So that's what's happening there. But let's move on from that grisly thought to the bandits. In the basement. Who are the bandits? For those who have played the game, you, by studying the character design, you may notice a similarity to two other characters you've met along the way, and that is the two robed daughters of chaos. Notice how you cannot see their face. These bandits are the symbols of the daughters of chaos, and it makes sense that they are, as they guard the way to the Capra demon. Who is a symbol of the Witch of Izalith. As we discussed, the Witch of Izalith was a giant, and the giants are represented by goats, and Capra is Latin for goat. And therefore the Capra demon represents the Witch of Izalith. And those are her daughters of chaos. And so we now have a couple of symbols here. We have once again a person in a barrel, just like in the undead church. But rather than dropping humanity, they drop a soul. Right next to the symbol of the Daughters of Chaos. Now I'm going to return to that armor set. I'm just going to open up the route back to Firelink Shrine, and after that we will be dealing with, we will discuss the armor set that's in that room. It's quite an important armor set. And then we will be going toe-to-toe with a Capra demon. Now, this character here, surely you remember this character. It was the very first monster who ever attacked us in the Undead Asylum.
You still have your senses about you. Then why won't you buy some of my moss? I need your souls. Please.
And that is the female.
What a humdrum lad you are.
The female undead merchant. And we'll be talking more about her later. So here we are back in Firelink Shrine, and there's Griggs, who's now come to help us out on our hero's journey. So the Witch of Izalith is protected by her Daughters of Chaos. Also notice there are 8 thieves. Just like the 8 statues that we saw in the undead church. The 8 Daughters of Chaos. Guarding the way to the Capra demon that represents the Witch of Izalith. And out of the dark comes the female undead merchant. So now I would like to just notice a few more things now that we're not getting attacked about the design. Here we are. That is an important attack of theirs. And their critical also looks just like that, this throat-slitting act that they do. If the bandits are able to perform a backstab on you. Whew, I'm getting closer to the Capra demon fight. I have to start to limber up. But before we do that, let's discuss the black armor set. The black leather armor set. Notice with this armor set, the head is different from the 3 components that make up the body. The thief mask does not belong to the black leather armor set when reading it. And then also we just picked up the target shield, which is also somewhat important. So let's put on this set. And have a look at it. So first, the target's shield. Notice the visual design of the circles. That will come up later. Those circles are seen in a few locations, and by the circles I mean the 4 circles that surround a central circle. Next, the mask, the thief mask. Mask of sinners. They hide their faces, stifle their voices, and hide in shadows. It does not provide much in the way of defense. Notice that the undead female merchant that we just talked to is extremely quiet, even as the NPCs go. She is stifling her voice. And now, the black leather armor set. So to read the black leather armor set, it is to start by looking at the shoulder pad. And here we have, so I was just interrupted again, but the tour will continue. So we were just about to start discussing the black leather armor set. So if we look at the shoulder pad of the black leather armor set, if we look closely, we see an ambiguous image. And an ambiguous image is an image that can look like 2 different things. And there's a few of these around Lordran. So at first, this looks like a corn cob, possibly even a flower. But if you look down to the left, to the very bottom left and to the right around this central corn cob, you'll notice that it starts to form 2 tusks, and those tusks loop around and point at what appear to be a mask of some type with eyes. And once you can see those eyes and those tusks, and you look at it as a whole, we can see a boar, just like the boar that was protecting the way to the undead church. Now notice the 2 doves, just like the doves that were part of the altar in the undead church. Sitting here next to this thief, a symbol of the Daughters of Chaos, just like those 8 statues we saw in the undead church. Now there's extra detail happening here as well. Notice it is made of a leather that is golden or bronzed, just like the doves in the undead church, but it has been painted over with silver paint, and in a way that keeps the detail of the boar and the doves, but hides the gold and the brass. This armor set is part of the same story that is being told in the undead church, and is actually reinforcing that idea of what we were talking about. That statue of Priscilla, those reliefs that represented Ulasil, weren't there originally. They replaced something else that was already there. And this, the silver of this has been rubbed away over age, revealing its true nature. Now notice also the belt. See if we can see the detail on the back. It's hard to see with the belt. See there? Even the red belt was once painted silver to hide the red band below. The person who wore this served Priscilla after they served another master, represented by gold. The armor made of smooth black leather is extremely quiet, a good thing for those who hide in the shadows. The leather itself is thick and offers a decent level of protection. Meanwhile, the Mask of the Thief, it does not provide much in the way of defense. Another idea that Mask of a Thief was not originally associated with this armor set. And what is being represented by this armor set is the idea that the person associated with it was not initially a thief, but became associated with one later on. In addition to that, this armor set represents the undead church from which we just came, and so we can see something else about that place now. The undead church, despite its appearances, is a place of wily thieves who engage in some type of sinful activity. Priscilla, Seath the Scaleless, and now the Daughters of Chaos, at different points in time, were using the undead church to deceive others. Why? For their own good, of course. And quickly, this is no average thieves outfit. This is the thieves outfit. If you started the game as a thief class, you started the game with this armor set. And so, to recap and get away from all of the abstract imagery, what is being represented here by this armor set? What is being represented here and in the undead church as a whole is that there was a point in time where Priscilla, the Dark Moon Goddess, had had enough. And that was when she came down and she painted over all the mistakes and the sins of the past and created Ulasil and told everybody that they would get along. And that is a very heavy-handed act, but it was a heavy-handed act that was welcomed by the people below, and this is why Arturia served her loyally and was gifted Seath in return, was because the people of Lordran had also had enough of all the infighting, and they hoped that there could finally be peace. And there we have it, part of the story of the undead church. Now we will fight the Capra demon. I will be focusing on surviving, while you should be focusing on the art design of the Capra demon.